In the autumn hunting competition, the goal was to hunt demon beasts and score points by collecting their heads. The point system was as follows. First-tier demon beasts earned 3 points, second-tier beasts 5, third-tier beasts 10, fourth-tier beasts 50, and killing a fifth-tier beast that produced a crystal core could earn 1,000 points. However, since the Qin family started the autumn hunting competition, no one had ever managed to kill a fifth-tier demon beast. After half an hour, Qin Tian and Yun Man had hunted 36 demon beasts, most of them second tier, which combined for nearly 150 points, an impressive score that would make anyone envious. Qin Tian was indifferent about the points and looked at Yun Man, saying, "You can have all of these." "I don't want them, and cutting off their heads is too bloody and cruel. I'd be scared," Yun Man said shyly, stepping back. Her tone had completely changed, lacking the earlier fierce demeanor, as if she had become a completely different person. Qin Tian observed her closely, seeing that she genuinely didn't want the points. Not wanting to make things awkward, he severed the head of a green-toothed wolf, its blood spilling everywhere, and stored it in his spatial token. Such cruelty, so violent, it's too bloody. Yun Man pinched her nose and took a few steps back, her mind drifting to the scene where Qin Yang killed Qin Shan the day before. A sudden wave of fear rose in her heart. While Qin Tian continued collecting heads, he kept a wary eye on a dense leaf tree. He felt a coldness inside, thinking, you really can hold out that long. When he was surrounded by the demon beasts, he noticed a figure hiding on a dense leaf tree. The figure was well hidden, but Qin Tian's sharp eyes had caught the movement. The demon beasts beneath the tree were looking up, showing their dangerous intent, so Qin Tian knew that someone was hiding up there, though he couldn't tell who. After collecting the heads of over 30 beasts, Qin Tian suddenly collapsed to the ground, his face turning pale, sweat pouring from his forehead as he gasped for breath. He waved at Yun Man weakly and said, "I was bitten by a skyflower spider. My whole leg is numb. Do you have any detox pills?" Lying on the ground, he clenched his thigh in pain, while black blood continued to seep from the wound, indicating a deep poisoning. Why didn't you say something earlier?" Yun Man exclaimed, rushing over to help him. When she saw that his leg had turned black, her heart filled with worry. "Let me help you back to the cave." "No, it's too late. My leg is completely numb," Qin Tian panted, his face as pale as paper, his eyes unfocused, exuding extreme pain. Yun Man was nearly in tears seeing him in such agony. She had no detox pills and didn't expect the autumn hunting competition to be so dangerous. Had she known, she never would have come. "Help me guard. I'll use my qi to expel the poison. Don't let anyone disturb me," Qin Tian said between labored breaths, his gaze flickering towards the dense leaf tree. After hearing this, Yun Man nodded in haste and stood guard, her eyes scanning the surroundings. "Ha ha! Truly, heaven helps me," a cold laugh echoed, and Qin Yang leaped down from the tree, landing gracefully on the ground with a mocking grin, drawing a steel blade from behind him. You? Yun Man's face turned pale as she saw Qin Yang, memories of bloodshed flooding her mind, causing her to tremble uncontrollably. She was truly terrified. Seeing such a brutal scene and knowing Qin Yang's twisted nature, her fear was understandable. Qin Yang licked his lips with a lecherous smile as he approached Yun Man, saying, "Yun Man, who would have thought you've hidden so much over the years? For a small outer disciple, your qi cultivation is quite profound. You've been hiding it so well. Today, if you come with me, after the autumn hunting competition, I'll recommend you to the Elder Hall. You'll become a core elite of the Qin family. What do you say? Stay with me, and you won't need to fear anything again. In the Qin family, and even in Qinghe City, no one will dare to bully you." Step by step, Qin Yang advanced, watching Yun Man's trembling form, his perverse smile growing. The Qin family wouldn't intervene in any incidents during the competition. They wouldn't stop killings, much less care about other things like assaults, especially when he was the son of the Grand Elder and highly favored within the family. Who could oppose him? "Stay back! If you come closer, I will fight back." Yun Man gathered her courage, shouting, but her eyes kept flicking towards Qin Tian, who was in deep concentration. At that moment, Qin Tian was sitting cross-legged, his eyes half closed, releasing a faint aura of qi as he worked to expel the poison. Sweat streamed down his forehead as he approached the critical moment. Qin Yang, full of confidence, swung his steel blade in his hand, quickening his steps. He kept Yunman in his sights, but inwardly he was cautious. He had realized that Yunman's strength was not to be underestimated. If they fought now, the battle would likely be prolonged, and if Qin Tian recovered, he would lose the upper hand. His current goal was to deal with Qin Tian with one clean strike and then slowly enjoy dealing with Yunman. As he thought of her delicate face, his dark thoughts stirred. The closer he got to Yunman, the more twisted his grin became. Yunman, however, was frozen in fear, feeling utterly helpless. Her fear intensified as Qin Yang continued to approach. Just as the tension escalated, a silk ribbon shot out, extending more than 10 feet. Qin Yang jumped back in shock, his focus sharpening, but he quickly laughed it off. The silk ribbon had no real offensive power. It was no different from the decorative ribbons used by dancers. It looked flashy, but posed no threat. "Don't be afraid, little beauty. I'll take care of you soon," Qin Yang sneered, clearly undeterred by the ribbon, not even bothering to consider Qin Tian's presence. For Qin Yang, Qin Tian was already a dead man. Once he struck, Qin Tian's head would fall, and he would no longer be a threat. Yunman, standing protectively in front of Qin Tian, could smell the faint, refreshing fragrance from him, which calmed her slightly, though the overwhelming fear remained. "Who is the yellow sparrow?" Qin Tian's lips curled into a faint, cold smile.